Alright, so here's a video. This is just to kind of demonstrate where I live. Because some people were like, oh, well, how remote is this? This is the road that I live on. We've got a few miles to go. So here we go. So while we're doing this drive down to my farm, let's note Occam's razor, a scientific principle, I think, that says that all things being weighed equally, usually the simplest explanation is the correct one. So, what would be the simplest explanation for the oddities that happen at the house? And what are the oddities? Well, we've got the cameras picking up like the weird, the orb aspect, okay? I don't want to say orb because, that might not be the best way to describe it because that kind of preconceivs the notion that it's this or that. But we're going to call it an orb for lack of a better term. Then there's also the video where I don't know if it's a whole bunch of orbs, but there's like a ton of things flying by the camera. And there's the video with the orbs that also includes the sound of stuff hitting the cabin. Then there's, excuse me, then there's the incident that happened about 3 weeks ago. It's not on video. I should have recorded it, but I was in the cabin and the power went out. Now, that's odd because it hasn't been going up for a while because I have it pretty well worked out. The power only went out though to the cabin, and then it came back on 1 minute later. So, what could be the explanation of that? Well, what caused that, I believe, is that something tripped over one of the extension cords. Because, I have a solar system, okay, and I've got stuff all over the property. So I actually have just extension cords running everywhere for like, across, acres. And so it's easy to trip over an extension cord and unplug it. Now, could a deer have done that? 100%. But a deer does not plug it back in. It was plugged back in. And it wasn't the solar system like crapping out on me and being dead, because if that were the case, it would have stayed off until the sun came back up. But the power came back on 1 minute later. So, and it wasn't the inverter going out, because if the inverter goes out, I have to go out there and reset it myself. So that happened. So I came out and I had my really bright floodlight out, okay? And it's a bright floodlight. And I had it hooked up to a battery. The whole scenario was big enough to where I had to put it all in a wagon. And I went walking around, pulling that on me, just to see what was out there. I wanted whatever it was that caused the power to go out to know that I noticed it. Because I figured the reason why they plugged it back in was because they thought, well, hey, maybe he didn't notice it, but I did. And so with my bright light, and I came up and said, hey, if anybody's out here, get the hell out of here. Mostly I said that because I didn't have a gun on me at that moment, and I didn't want to actually confront anybody and find that they did have a gun, because most people have a gun out here. And if it isn't a person, gun's not going to matter necessarily, but still I would have liked to have a gun. So, didn't want to confront anything, so I just made it known that I knew that something had happened. So, then I think I turned to playing music across across the property, okay? Because I have speakers that are outside. It's like a Google Mesh network, okay? And so I was blaring Whitney Houston. This is at 2 o'clock in the morning. And I think that ticked off whatever the hell it was. And it got close enough to where the dogs were freaking out. So I came back out. I had a bat on me, because that was what I had on me. And we're kind of getting closer to the property finally. But anyway, I went outside and I couldn't see anything because it's dark out here. I mean, watch. Let's turn the lights out. Sheesh, that's scary. Okay. Anyway, it's dark out here, okay? So I said, oh, you know, you think that you're so cool, you think you're so clever, and you think that I'm just so dumb, because I can't find you and you're out here hidden in the dark. But I just want to point out to you that you're the idiot who's standing out in the woods in the middle of nowhere in the dark messing with some guy. And I was like, you apparently have no life and you mean nothing in the world. So enjoy that. And then I went back in the cabin. And then within 30 seconds, something hit the cabin. Ooh, there's a dead thing. I think another dead thing. Anyway, so something hit the cabin, and I mean, it was not like a tap. It was like a hit. So I came out immediately. Of course, there's nobody there, and didn't find anything. Didn't find anyone. And then I decided, you know, well, I'm just gonna stop engaging with whatever's going on, and that way it'll go away. But that was 3 Saturdays ago, maybe. Here we are. We're almost at the beginning of my property. So, right here is my property. And there's my entryway. Annoyingly, only one of my lights is working. I have 2 lights up there. Actually, do I have 2 lights hanging? Yeah, it's still hanging. Okay. Yeah, it's still hanging. But all my lights are out somehow. Some light out somewhere. Okay, I know it's your light's out. Anyway, that was the story. Now you know how far I am from where everything is. Bye-bye.